James Arness sadly died after admitting that he had something to do with the death of his daughter. It was born James Arness. On May 26, 1923, James King Arness was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was an American actor who became famous for playing Marshal Matt Dillon on the long-running TV show Gunsmoke. Arness had a career that lasted more than 50 years, and his role as the tough, moral police officer became one of the most beloved in TV history. People were mesmerized by his towering presence and quiet determination, and a strong dedication to doing what's right in the Old West. In addition to being an actor, Arness lived a life of service, grit, and a close relationship with his fans. He left an indelible mark on Hollywood and American TV. James Arness grew up in a close-knit family. He is the older of two brothers, and his younger brother, Peter Arness, became famous as an actress. Arness had family roots in both Norway and Germany, and when he was growing up as a child, he loved being outside and would often go fishing, hiking, and camping in the wilds of Minnesota. His impressive height of 6 feet 7 inches made him stand out from a young age. But it also gave him problems in his early years. She wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot before she became an actress, but when World War II broke out, he was forced to join the U.S. Army. During the war, Arness did a great job, 1944, in Italy. But when he was badly hurt in battle, his military career took a sudden turn for the worse. He was hit by a machine gun, which hurt him so badly that he had to stay in the hospital for more than a year and had leg pain all his life. Arness got the Purple Heart for his bravery, even though he was hurt. This time of service and sacrifice changed his character and work attitude in a big way. He became known for certain traits that showed up on and off screen. When Arness got back from the war, he started acting almost by chance. He went to Los Angeles to try his luck in Hollywood because a friend told him to. Casting directors were drawn to him because he was so tall and had a rough good looks. Soon he started getting small parts in movies. At the beginning of the 1950s, Arness steadily worked on westerns, horror movies, and science fiction movies. 1954, an old-school sci-fi movie about huge ants, and 1951's The Thing from Another World, in which he played the monster in the title. Even though he had played these parts, Arness hadn't found his real calling until he met John Wayne. One of the biggest stars in Hollywood, John Wayne saw Arness's promise and suggested that he play Marshal Matt Dillon on the CBS Western show Gunsmoke. When it first aired in 1955, the show was an instant hit, and Arness became famous for playing the tough police officer. According to records, Gunsmoke ran for 20 years, making it the longest-running prime TV soap in history. Arness was in more than 600 episodes of the show. People of all ages related to his character, Matt Dillon, because of his strong morals, toughness, and strong sense of right and wrong. Arness gave the part his all in a way that no one else did. Even though his wound from the war was still hurting him, he often did his own stunts and was strongly committed to making sure that Matt Dillon was portrayed in a way that was true to the Western genre. Gunsmoke not only defined his career, but it also set a standard for Western TV shows. Arness's role as Matt Dillon became the model for the American Western hero. Once Gunsmoke was over in 1975, National Guard units came together. Arness kept acting in westerns and TV movies, which made him even more of a beloved figure in the genre. During the 1980s and 1990s, he played Matt Dillon again in a number of made-for-TV Gunsmoke movies. This showed that his performance as the famous Marshal still held a fond memory for viewers. Arness was the lead in a number of TV shows besides westerns, such as How the West Was Won, which ran from 1976 to 1979, which let him show how versatile he was as an actress. Arness was known for being private and humble, even though he was very famous. He didn't want to be interviewed very often because he liked living a quiet life on his land with his family. Colleagues and fans alike liked him because he was humble and real. They admired him not only for his acting, but also for being honest in real life. He was a real person with the same values as his most popular character, being honest, reliable, and determined. Arness had a tough exterior, but he was going through a lot of emotional problems. One of his problems was that he had to deal with constant pain from an injury he got in fight. Like a lot of famous people, Arness felt the stresses of being alone that come with being famous. In his marriage to Virginia Chapman, which ended in divorce in 1960, there were problems, such as Chapman's drug abuse. These two people had 3 kids together. By age, kids usually lived longer than their parents. Gunsmoke star James Arness, on the other hand, had the exact opposite experience as a parent. He said goodbye to his daughter 11 days before she turned 25. Jenny, their daughter, died in 1975 from taking too many drugs. She was born in 1950. In addition to her dad, she played Amy on the TV show Gunsmoke. Who played the good guy, Marshal Matt Dillon? Virginia Arness, her mom, died of a drug overdose 2 years after her. She had been divorced from her dad since 1963. The death was later found to have been an accident. There are rumors that she took too many sleeping pills at home. James Arness, who played Gunsmoke, was so sad about the death of his daughter that he couldn't live without her. For James, the death of his daughter was too much to handle. Jenny killed herself 2 months before James did, on July 12, 2015. James tried to kill himself at his home in Brentwood but failed. It was said that the late star killed himself to end the pain he was feeling from his failing health, growing money problems, and the loss of his daughter. It's a sad fact that a lot of celebrities die too young by suicide, and Arness knew how hard it can be on people's emotions when this happens. His daughter's suicide was a sharp reminder of how important mental health was. At the time, people often ignored or looked down upon mental health issues. Even though Arness kept to himself, many people who knew the silent fights that people face, even those who seem strong and calm on the outside, felt sad about his death. People are becoming more aware of how important it is to put mental health first these days, especially in Hollywood, where the stress of fame can make mental health problems worse. Even though celebrities like James Arness were closely watched by the public, they often dealt with their own problems alone. Many people don't take care of their own mental health needs because they feel too much pressure to keep up a public picture of strength and success. This has caused a change in culture, where talking about mental health is easier and more common, and not just for famous people. The stresses of fame and the physical and mental pain Arness went through all his life show how important it is to get help and put your health first. It's important to remember that even people who seem unbeatable can be weak. Arness rarely talked about his personal problems in public. Today, people are talking more about mental health, which is a big change from Arness's time, when these kinds of problems were often hidden, both in Hollywood and in everyday life. James said he realized too late how important it was to put mental health first. His daughter had died, and he would always feel bad about that. James Arness doesn't have much time to spend with his daughter because of all the work he has to do, which is more likely to make his daughter unhappy and lead her to kill herself. In a painful chat a few days before he killed himself, he told her. His son Craig is from his marriage to his first wife, Virginia Chapman. Craig started getting care for anemia and lung problems in 2004. Sadly, he died in December of that year, at the age of 58. When Arness's son died, he cried like he had never cried before. He thought of his daughter, Jenny. Though James Arness died on June 3, 2011, he will always be remembered for what he did. People who loved him, worked with him, and studied television history all praised the huge things he did for the Western genre and for TV in general. The role he played as Matt Dillon is still a big part of American society. It represents justice, bravery, and strength in the face of hardship. During his career, Arness won many awards and was even admitted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. It's impossible to overstate how much Arness changed the TV business. A lot of artists and writers got their start by watching Gunsmoke as a child. The show also set the standard for future TV dramas to be successful. His work as Matt Dillon has become a lasting symbol of the spirit of the American frontier, and his dedication to the part helped make Westerns a major genre in TV history. Besides his professional achievements, Arness's life story shows how strong and determined people can be. On and off the screen, Arness was a star because of his bravery in WRI and his determination to keep going even when things got hard in his personal life. His quiet, humble personality and dedication to his work won him respect from both fans and fellow writers. His work is still praised by many who love the morals he portrayed in his characters. James Arness was a cultural icon who left a permanent mark on the entertainment world. He was more than just an actor. His role as Marshal Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke is still one of the most admired on TV, and his reputation as a man of honor in both his personal and professional life means that he will be recognized as one of the best actors of his time.